Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search. A commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey.
Education is the most powerful instrument which can change the world. At EI, we believe every child deserves quality education to become the change makers of their time. This is why we design learning solutions that target the personal learning needs of each child in a classroom. When we see children, we don't see where they come from or how privileged they are. All we see are opportunities waiting to be explored and nurtured to turn into success. Today, we are proud to be a learning partner for millions of students from every corner of the world. and help them reach their full potential. EI, creating a world where children everywhere are learning with understanding.
Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement. A movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey.
Education is the most powerful instrument which can change the world. At EI, we believe every child deserves quality education to become the change makers of their time. This is why we design learning solutions that target the personal learning needs of each child in a classroom. When we see children, we don't see where they come from or how privileged they are. All we see are opportunities. Opportunities waiting to be explored and nurtured to turn into success. Today, we are proud to be a learning partner for millions of students from every corner of the world and help them reach their full potential. EI, creating a world where children everywhere are learning with understanding.
Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search. A commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child, their potential, will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey.
Education is the most powerful instrument which can change the world. At EI, we believe every child deserves quality education to become the change makers of their time. This is why we design learning solutions that target the personal learning needs of each child in a classroom. When we see children, we don't see where they come from or how privileged they are. All we see are opportunities. Opportunities waiting to be explored and nurtured to turn into success. Today, we are proud to be a learning partner for millions of students from every corner of the world and help them reach their full potential. EI, creating a world where children everywhere are learning with understanding.
Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search. A commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey.
Education is the most powerful instrument which can change the world. At EI, we believe every child deserves quality education to become the change makers of their time. This is why we design learning solutions that target the personal learning needs of each child in a classroom. When we see children, we don't see where they come from or how privileged they are. All we see are opportunities waiting to be explored and nurtured to turn into success. Today, we are proud to be a learning partner for millions of students from every corner of the world and help them reach their full potential. EI, creating a world where children everywhere are learning with understanding.
Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect them with a global community of like-minded peers, and to set them on a path of lifelong learning and leadership. Here, gifted minds find their sanctuary, a place where intellectual kinship flourishes, where challenges become opportunities for growth, innovation, and transformative impact. We understand that giftedness is a journey, not a destination. It's about constantly pushing boundaries, exploring new horizons, and realizing one's full potential. EI Asset Talent Search isn't just an assessment, it's a partner in this journey towards excellence. It's a promise to each gifted child their potential will be celebrated, and their future as tomorrow's leaders and innovators will be shaped with care and expertise. Join us as we shape a generation of leaders, one gifted mind at a time. This is EI Asset Talent Search, where extraordinary minds embark on an extraordinary journey.
Education is the most powerful instrument which can change the world. At EI, we believe every child deserves quality education to become the change makers of their time. This is why we design learning solutions that target the personal learning needs of each child in a classroom. When we see children, we don't see where they come from or how privileged they are. All we see are opportunities waiting to be explored and nurtured to turn into success. Today, we are proud to be a learning partner for millions of students from every corner of the world and help them reach their full potential. EI, creating a world where children everywhere are learning with understanding.
Meet Arav, a young dreamer with a mind full of questions and a heart set on answers. His notebook isn't just filled with ideas, it's brimming with possibilities. But like many gifted minds, Arav faces a similar challenge: the lack of opportunity. Imagine what he could do if his potential was nurtured. At EI, we believe giftedness deserves to be celebrated. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we're building a gateway to a world where talent is not just recognized, it's nurtured and empowered. Every person who changed the world around us started with a dream. Larry Page, Lady Gaga, Tim Cook, and Serena Williams. They were all once just like Arav, full of potential. But what set them apart? Talent, yes. But more importantly, the right opportunities at the right time. Through EI Asset Talent Search, we open doors for gifted minds like Arav's, connecting them to transformative opportunities with our global partners who are pioneers in gifted education. These summer programs are life-changing experiences that foster creativity, collaboration, and innovation, preparing students to lead on the global stage. For students like Arav, EI Asset Talent Search is not just a test. It's a jump start to a transformative journey. A journey that connects gifted minds to a global community of innovators, dreamers, and leaders. Together, we're building a movement where talent is nurtured, potential is unlocked, and gifted students are empowered to achieve the extraordinary. Take the first step towards success. Register for EI Asset Talent Search. EI Asset Talent Search, a home for gifted minds, a gateway to global excellence. In the vast tapestry of the young minds, there are those that shine distinctly. The gifted. These are not just bright students, they are the rare gems of extraordinary potential. But what does it mean to be gifted? It's more than high IQ or academic excellence. It's a unique blend of curiosity, creativity, and the capacity for complex thinking. This is the heart of EI Asset Talent Search, a commitment not just to identify, but to nurture the academically gifted, to connect
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this special session for parents of ATS qualifiers of Global Indian International School campuses, both Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Parents, I want to start by saying many, many congratulations to your children for their exceptional achievement. Qualifying for the ATS is a testament to their hard work and dedication. And today's session will walk you through the next steps of this journey. We are joined by our Chief Learning Officer and esteemed educators from the from the Abu Dhabi campus, who will also be able to provide valuable insights into how your child can maximize this opportunity. As we celebrate their success, it's also a fitting moment to acknowledge today's day, which is International Women's Day, a day that reminds us of the importance of empowering and supporting every child, male and female, to reach their full potential. Thank you for being here, and I'm looking forward to having a very insightful discussion. We will take in your questions. Please feel free to put those questions in the chat box, and we will take them up and answer them towards the end of the session. I want to start with a quick introduction to our Chief Learning Officer, Sridhar Rajagopalan. He's a graduate of IIT Madras and IIM Ahmedabad. He co-founded Eklavya School Ahmedabad, now ranked amongst India's top schools. In 2001, he co-founded Educational Initiatives, a social enterprise behind ASSET, EI Asset, a leading assessment. All of you know about it. More than 500,000 students a year across so many countries. And also MindSpark, an award-winning personalized adaptive learning tool used by 500,000 students plus across the world. Sridhar is also an advisor to several Indian government education committees. Under his leadership, EI has conducted large-scale student learning assessments and has collaborated with the CBSE and state education boards to enhance board exams. We are also happy to have with us Ms. Shabista Surve and Ms. Jyoti Pathak from the Abu Dhabi campus for joining us. Further hand the mic to Sridhar. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Savitri. I do want to join Savitri in wishing everybody a very happy International Women's Day. And also congratulate all of you, because the achievements of our children, whether your parents or schools, is very significant, because what they have achieved so far is being identified in the top 15% of students from their cohort, literally all over the world. So that's a huge achievement. And we will be talking to you about the giftedness process. What's the next steps in terms of identifying giftedness, and what you need to do, what you can do, and the kind of opportunities that this opens up for the children. Savitri, is there something specific that parents have in mind? I don't know if the educators want to share some thoughts before we start.
Definitely. Let me check with Ms. Jyoti and Ms. Shabista. If you're comfortable, you can switch your cameras on. Your students are there. Your students and parents are there in the audience. Ms. Shabista and Ms. Jyoti, lovely to see you both to join us, so that parents can also have their questions, if there are any questions that they have about middle school, why this is more to do with middle school, and we will get into talent identification and nurturing. Sridhar will take us through all of that. But from your side, maybe could you share some light on how children actually responded to the challenge of asset itself, and how do they find the test this time? Any insights that you can offer?
Good morning, everybody. So regarding asset, sorry for I'm not feeling well, but for the asset, our results have improved, as you know. So there has been more support from the parents, we cannot deny that, and obviously from our teaching community as well. And the results show the improvement in all the subject areas. And being selected for this ATS for the next level itself, the parents are happy about it. But there are some queries, concerns, basically queries regarding what it involves when we speak about how they will improve the critical thinking skills, or more enriched assessments. So they want to know more about it, maybe more clarity about it. So that's why we have requested this webinar. Thank you.
And Ms. Jyoti, would you like to share some thoughts about this opportunity that students have gotten, the one that all of those students who got 85 percentile and above in asset? If you can share some light.
Thank you so much, Ms. Savitri, and good morning, everyone. As Shabista ma'am has already spoken, that our results are so encouraging this time, and it clearly shows the efforts of students, parents, as well as our teachers, because it's not just one day game. Our parents were behind their children to complete a QAD question every day, because we have been posting questions in the groups each day. And just for your knowledge, one of the students from grade 8A, Ameya, she's been on the top of leaderboard for AQAT, and this month as well as in the month of December. And her question was the best, her answer was selected as the best answer. So it is really great, because it was not happening before. So with this webinar, I want more students to get motivated and indulge themselves preparing well for ASSET, because it's not only for today, it's for better tomorrow as well, because when they go for the universities as well as international setup of education, I'm 110% sure that these kind of questions and this kind of the pattern is really very important, and it's going to help them for sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jyoti. So I'll shift the focus back to Sridhar now. Sridhar, we've heard a lot about giftedness, and parents also may understand, okay, my child is talented. They may not realize to what extent the child is talented. So there's a whole lot of literature also available, I'm sure, on this. I don't know how many parents have actually looked at it. I want you to share your expertise and your knowledge about this. I know EI has been working on this for a very long time. I'll request you to take us and the parents through the next steps of a talent search. What does that involve? But before that, what is giftedness? Why should we actually be so bothered about it?
Yeah, no, thank you, Savitri. I think this is a very interesting question. And, I also want to thank the other panelists for, sharing their information and their questions. And we are going to try and cover all these points as we talk today about these topics. And as we have said, like, we welcome parents to share more questions as they have them. I'm seeing there are already questions on the panel that people are asking. So we're going to cover those as we go along. But I'm going to start by telling you a bit about giftedness, this whole process, and so on. And I saw some questions were about dates, so we'll talk about that. And what if you're traveling on those dates, and so on. We have answers to all those. So, many people say that every child is unique, every child is gifted, and we all believe this. I think there's absolutely no doubt about that. But we also see that even in this situation, there are some children who literally stand out. And this is what the whole process of the EI asset talent search and giftedness nurturing is about. And you are here because your children are potentially part of this group. Some of the people in this picture have actually gone through a very similar process as the children who are going through it now, which is they get identified initially in the top 15% and then take another higher level test and then get identified in the top 1 or 2%. And that is what is called giftedness. So the first thing that I want to re-emphasize is that do not underestimate the achievement that has already been there by these children, because they have shown that they have this ability to be in that rarefied group, like the picture of the people we just saw. At the same time, what we have done so far is they wrote the EI asset test, and we are here now. They basically have qualified for the EI asset talent search by being in the top 15% of students. Like Savitri mentioned, asset is taken by a very, very large number of children across the world. And the children who are in the top 15% qualify for the EIATS, and all your children are in that list. Now, when they take the next step, which is when they write the EIATS, and if they score in the top 15% of that test also, that means they are already in the top 15%. If they are in the top 15% of the top 15%, which is roughly 2 to 2.5%, when they're in that group, that is when we call them an asset scholar, and they get to move to the next stage, which is an opportunity to attend gifted workshops among the best students all over the world. And we'll be talking about those workshops also. So want to say here that the achievement so far is very, very significant, and yet they are in part way of the step. And we are going to describe this whole journey and the opportunity. We'll also share an opportunity for you to interact with past students, last year, but this has happened for many years now. We've been doing this since 2011, so almost 13, 14 years. And many of those students are now like working either in top companies or researchers in the top universities. So an opportunity to interact with some of them, and we'll talk about that as well. So before that, coming to your question on what is giftedness. So we know that some people, and you see some of their pictures here, whether it's a Mark Zuckerberg who founded Facebook, or Sergey Brin who kind of co-founded Google, or Lady Gaga, who we know as a very, very talented artist and musician, but she is also academically a very brilliant person. And people like Terence Tao and Leonard Ng, who are researchers, in fields like maths and science, all of these people are among the same kind of pool, that the first step that they did is exactly the first step that your children have done. And some of these people we know have achieved global prominence like these people. But it's interesting that even among those who are not household names, the gifted, those who are in this top 1%, this is a research and was published in the Nature magazine, that in various different fields, and that's what you see here, whether it's a PhD, whether it is publications, whether it is patents, whether it is top levels of income, in all of these groups, students who have been identified as giftedness or who have been in the top 1%, they shine. And what that means is that they are the people who are moving the field ahead. So today, if we say AI is advancing, the people who are advancing that AI, these top 1% people are disproportionately represented in that group. So that is the potential. And the important thing is that these children have unique challenges that need to be supported and identified. That's the important thing. It's not that, oh, they are gifted, now they will reach all this potential. For example, this slide talks about that. And you might have observed this, both teachers and parents, that these children often get bored and disruptive because they understand concepts quickly. They have often moved ahead of the class. They often do not find the material as challenging as the average child. And there are also children who are called twice exceptional. What twice exceptional means is that in one dimension, they are gifted or they are exceptional, but in another dimension, they may also have specific challenges. And what kind of challenges are we talking about? Now, remember, this is different in every child. There may be some children who have some of these challenges, or even children who don't have any of these challenges. But some of the challenges observed among gifted children is that they often don't have very strong peer-to-peer relationships, partly because their level of thinking and relating is higher than their age group. Sometimes they are perfectionists. Sometimes because of perfectionism, they develop anxiety and stress, which can lead to low self-esteem. Sometimes, if this is not nurtured properly and they are not given the right kind of encouragement and feedback, this has led to burnout, and schools have to support this, or parents have to support this. So these children are different and special, and they also need this kind of support. The reason that we started EIATS and people like Johns Hopkins, and internationally these programs were started, it was to take care of these kind of needs of children like this, who are identified as gifted. Now, the other thing to understand is that giftedness is not only about, having exceptional ability. There's a lot of research on this, and a person called Renzulli, he said that there are these three rings, and it's the intersection of these rings that is giftedness. And what are these three rings? One, of course, is above average ability, but the other two are creativity. So creativity means that this child is not only really, really good, but their ideas are different and original. It's not the same as what somebody can get by simply spending a lot of time with a textbook. And task commitment means that they are able to stick to a task, persevere, even when they face setbacks. And overall, these people perform in the top 1 or 2 percentile in their domains. So if you can imagine, if there is somebody who's a co-founder of a huge company like Google or Facebook, they are exceptional people. They are thinking differently, but they also face challenges, and they have this ability to kind of, stick through the challenge or look at it differently or not get bogged down by this. And this is what overall is giftedness. This is what we want to both identify and develop. So that is the whole meaning of giftedness. What this graph shows is that, sometimes people think that the gifted children are, okay, they are bright, they are, but we are doing a higher level test. What this shows is all the red lines are the performance of the top children in class 7 across different years. This is a research that we had done between 2010 and 2013, and subsequently we found the same patterns. What does it show? It shows that in every year and in every subject, the top children of class 7, which is children like your own, children who have qualified currently, outperform the children who are 2 years ahead of them. If you take the average class 9 children, these top class 7 children do better than them, even though, as you can imagine, in many subjects, there might be topics that these children have not learned at all. That is the extent of their ability. They are able to beat or do better than children who are 2 or sometimes even more, 3 years ahead of them in terms of age and class. That is what makes it challenging both for teachers and parents. And there's been a lot of research on this. There is a link here which my colleagues will also put on the chat box so you can copy them. There's a very nice and a big article on this in Nature that came 1 or 2 years ago. And it actually talks about this whole process of what is giftedness, what is the research into this, how did this process develop over the last few years. And the conclusion, as far as parents are concerned, there's a lot of interesting research, so I would recommend you read it. But from a parent point of view or a teacher point of view, there are basically these 5 takeaways. The first is that identify these children roughly in the middle school years. The second is that the giftedness can come in any subject. They don't have to be the class topper who is getting the highest total mark, but they can be in any subject. And so on. You kind of detect giftedness by using a test which is challenging for the average child. That means if a child is in a certain class, a test which is 1 or 2 years above is what is where these children shine. And these are not regular school tests. These are tests that check for thinking and understanding. So that is the basic what research shows. And that is the process that we use even in the EI Asset Talent Search or ATS. One of the reasons what this shows is that we do this in classes 4 to 8. Grades 4 to 8 is when these children are identified as giftedness and invited to join the program. And why is that? Because before this, they are too young to show this kind of talent, though there are exceptions, of course. There are some children who start showing exceptional ability from even KG and class 1 and class 2. But in general, if you want to identify in most children, this starts showing up in classes 4 to 8. And if you go beyond class 4-8, you find that they start focusing on exams, they get into specific fields of study. And that is why a lot of the focus on the talent search happens in the middle school years. And this is why, some people in the past, historically, people used IQ tests. But nowadays, the method that is used, which is considered best, is not IQ tests, but these higher level tests. This is a book that talks about many of these topics. If your child is, in these levels, you might want to get a copy of this. This is a pretty interesting book that talks about what is happening in the top schools and top countries. And one of those aspects is identification of giftedness and the ways in which it is done. And one thing we all know is that as parents, all parents are committed to their children's success, which is why we find that tools that give exposure, to this kind of giftedness that helps both in identifying as well as nurturing that giftedness is the thing that is really needed and makes a difference. And that is why we go through schools, right? Because one can always go to individual children, but it is in the school that you have a large number of these children. You're able to identify those who are showing this kind of talent. And we know that the primary point of contact is the school. So this is always something that we do in partnership with schools. And then it's, of course, finally the parents, who decide. So both the school and the parent play a key role in making this happen. Now, one thing I wanted to clarify here is that often people think that, okay, here is one more assessment or here is one more workshop. But again, I want to repeat that this is not an assessment or a workshop open to any child. In fact, if you just pick up some friends of your children who have not qualified for this and they reach out to the school or they reach out to us, we will tell them that this is only for children who have already qualified in the top 15%. And then the workshops are only for children who have qualified in the top 2%, like I mentioned. So this is why it's because of this rigorous selection procedure that this becomes a once in a lifetime opportunity. And it really opens, like there are a lot of children who, based on this, have decided their career paths. And this comes out when you talk to some of the past students, which we will talk to you about if you want to reach out and interact with some of them. So this is not something that we should miss because we are traveling on that day or we're going on a holiday. This is literally a once in a lifetime opportunity to know if your children qualify for this. And if you don't qualify, also there are a lot of opportunities in terms of workshops and opportunities that are available. So whatever the perspective, whatever happens in the test, we believe that the children must take a chance and try and write to see how they stand. By the way, one of the examples all of you may be aware is Adit, from Dubai. He is a student from Dubai who took the asset talent search, took the asset test, was in the asset talent, and it has gone on today to become the co-owner of Zepto, which is one of the recent unicorns that are really making a mark. And there are many such examples. Another recent example is another student, Shiven, who, in fact, the picture on the right is actually Shiven when he was younger, receiving the ATS certificate, first the asset certificate, then the EI asset talent, also which he topped. He attended the gifted workshop, like the workshops we're going to tell you about, and now he has topped the JEE mains. So most of these children, I'm not saying that that it's because of asset that they are doing. What asset and ATS do is they identify these children, and the gifted workshops identify this talent and nurture this talent in them. So many children have gone through this and have benefited from this. So that was just an introduction to what giftedness is, and how the broad procedure. But Savitri, I hope that kind of answered the basic question, and I just wanted to turn it back to you.
No, that was a fantastic introduction to this whole topic, Sridhar. Thank you so much. Because a lot of parents from the younger group, the grade 4 and grade 5s who've qualified for ATS, were not aware of that. And we do get a lot of questions. So parents do understand that it is important to not only identify, but then also nurture and give them the right environment for children to flower and grow. And like we've seen these fantastic examples from our own schools, from Dubai, where we've seen children do fantastically well and then go on to make some huge achievements. So I'm here, my part today would be to tell you what exactly the next steps are and things aligned to that. So Sridhar, if you could have
That's what I wanted to ask you, Savitri. I said that all this is, what if parents and teachers want to know what exactly should they do? So yes, I would want to hear that from you, please.
Sure. So we wanted this webinar to also help teachers also know what exactly, how is it that they can support parents? What resources are we sharing with teachers and with parents, of course? There will be, from our side, it's the sharing of resources has already begun, because the registration for asset talent search has already begun. And right from when asset itself ends, and we send out the list of asset talent search qualifiers to schools, we make these resources available for schools. The regular posts that we put out on social media, there are online webinars like this one that we are doing. There is a live dashboard for schools for the asset coordinator to check who are the students who've qualified, how many of them have registered. Then there's something additional that we do. I will go into each of them. We will have slides for each of them to show you all. Letters for parents, invitations for parents of invitation for students who've qualified for asset talent search. Then there were some beautiful creatives that our teams had created for students to actually recognize and take up the challenge of asset talent search. And of course, talking to past students, their experience, that's important for parents, for us as parents to know what is it that children are getting into, how safe is it for students to go for summer programs. Some of them are with our partners in India. Many of them are with our with universities that have tied up with asset talent search. Maybe we'll go on to the next slide. And see what, yes, the regular posts on giftedness and EI asset talent search. There is our Instagram available, both SAGE and educational initiatives. There are blogs, there are messages that are available, blogs that are available for educators to read through. There's a lot of resources that we share, a lot of information that we share via all of our social media posts. Teachers and parents both welcome to look them up and refer to them. We do conduct these weekly webinars. We hold them on Wednesday evenings and on Saturday mid-mornings. Whichever suits you, please encourage, teachers and educators, please encourage your parents to join them. Parents, if you have friends whose children have also qualified, please, and who have missed today's session, for instance, please tell them that there are weekly webinars that are held. If there are any questions they may have over and above whatever we've conveyed to them by way of emails or WhatsApp messages, they are free to join these webinars, and we have experts like our Chief Learning Officer to answer them and to help them make that choice. Beyond this, maybe we can go to the next, yeah. So this is something that I want all the parents to see very carefully. This is the parent letter that we actually send out to schools. It should have reached your school this week. It would have reached your school this week. And teachers will be giving these invitations. These are actually in the form of invitations for our ATS qualifiers to join, to register for asset talent search, and information beyond that as well. What about the gifted opportunities that open up for our children after they take the asset talent search? Sridhar will take us more in detail on those opportunities available. For now, we can shift to the next slide. Okay, so these are some of the posters which speak for themselves. Yeah, and this is another opportunity for parents. Like I mentioned, students taking asset talent search itself, they can tell you about the experience that they've had. And of course, going beyond that, for students who've qualified for the gifted opportunities that open up for them, whether it is the program that we hold in India and in our campuses, in our campus and at Manipal University, or any of the summer courses in the US universities that have tied up with us. We'll go more into detail over there. But yes, it's important for parents to talk to parents of those students who've attended these summer programs. This is a view of our website, the ATS website, in case you have not already attended, you've not already gone there. That is the website for your information, parents. This is the website you need to attend to click on to be able to register your child for the asset talent search. At the bottom panel, you can see the names of the universities that will accept the ATS score for their summer courses. So there's Johns Hopkins, there's Purdue, there's GIIS, which is our Indian partner. There's Northwestern's CTD, there's SIG, Summer Institute of Gifted Studies, ATDP, UC Berkeley. So there's quite a lot of information which you can discover at the website itself. In our next slide, I just wanted to give you basically what Sridhar explained. Yes, this is a test by invitation, identifying students since 2010. Culturally inclusive, globally focused, and there's an emphasis on critical thinking over rote learning, which means there is no preparation as such required, because you can't prepare for a gifted test, a test on giftedness. I would say encourage them to take a look, encourage your children to take a look at questions from grade 2 grades above their current grade, for them to get an idea as to the difficulty level of questions, rather than prepare anything as such. They really won't be able to prepare in that sense. And yes, of course, what I mentioned, it is a gateway to future global opportunities. We could go on to the next slide. So this, I think, actually encapsulates all of the information that we've been trying to share with parents across. So EI asset is the starting point for all students. Those in the top 10, top 15 percentile are qualified and invited. Registrations have already begun since February. And then we move on to the remaining part of the month, where there is, on 16th of March, we place that as the end of the early bird registrations. Post that, registrations do continue up until March 23rd. So between from today up until March 16th, students can register for single or double or triple subjects, English, math, and science, either individually or along with individually, or all three put together. But beyond March 16th, the regular registrations would mean that only 3 subjects can be selected. The late registrations beyond March 23rd, there is just, if you could go back to that slide, Sridhar. Yeah, the previous one. The late registrations will close on March. I think there's an error there in that thing. The late registrations close on March 28th, I believe, not March 30th. The test is actually between March 25th to March 29th. I apologize for the error. Tests begin on March 25th and end on March 29th. And the announcement of the results are on April 11th. I'll just come back to the March 25th to 29th because of the possibility of Eid falling at the very end of March. We decided to bring up the dates, and the dates for ATS are March 25th. I'm repeating this just so that everybody actually notes it down. March 25th to March 29th. Students may do 1, 2, or 3 tests on the same day if they wish to. We don't recommend that. You can select one test a day to do your ATS. Then, yes, of course, this is a very important part. Students do love to be recognized and know what lies for them after they achieve their. So we have a first prize. We have prizes. Very exciting prizes. You can take a look at that. We do, apart from the trophies and medals, certificates, etc. Lots of things are available. Prizes are up for grabs. Let's all work hard for it. I would like to challenge the students to see who would actually get the first prize, their iPads, Apple Watches, and Kindles this time. Having said that, Sridhar, should we go into questions or should we, because I can see a lot of questions. As I was speaking, I was just seeing that lots of questions have come up. So maybe because the time frame is limited, I thought we should take up some questions.
Yes, certainly, Savitri. I think that's a good point. And we will be, sorry for the error in those dates. It is 25th to 29th, and we will be showing that in a couple of slides later on. But yes, Savitri, I think we should take some questions from the audience.
So one of the first questions that came, and I think we did respond to it, but I would like your special take on this. Some parents have asked, how can we support our children in achieving success in the ATS? So what source materials or practice question banks, is there something like that available?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand that these kind of assessments are checking the natural ability of the child that has been developed over the years. The questions that are used in these assessments are not a typical kind of question that you would find in a textbook. But at the same time, it's not very, very difficult either. It's just that it requires the children to have understood, like we talk of critical thinking. So what we basically recommend is no special preparation. We do not recommend that the child prepare specially for it, or definitely not go to the higher class levels and spend a lot of time and think about it. Like you are aware, ACID itself, we call it a no preparation test, and ATS is no different. All that they should do is that they should be familiar with their own material. They should be, if they want to kind of look back at some of the ACID questions they have done, as long as they know that the concepts that they have learned, their understanding of it, if they want to revise that in some form, they can do that. But we do not provide for anybody. We do not provide any special preparatory material, because we think that kind of is not testing the natural ability. So really the answer is no special preparation. Again, this is something that if you talk to students who have taken the test in the past, that's what they will tell you, that yes, we had taken the ACID test, we looked at some past ACID question papers, we familiarized ourselves with those, and some of them did not even do that. So we would say just be in touch with your regular school material. You don't need to do any special preparation for this.
Yeah, so there is another question on the cost of these tests. There are 3 subjects. The total cost of it is 250 dirhams if you're taking all the 3 tests together. If your child wishes to take only one, then he can register for one at 170 dirhams, for 2 subjects at 210 dirhams. But just remember, parents, this is available until March 16th. Post March 16th, that option goes off. Is there something you wanted to add, Sridhar?
We will be showing these in slides. So I don't know if there are any other questions that are not about pricing and this thing, happy to take them. Then I'll just
Yeah.
go through some slides that will show all this, including the dates correctly, so you can
Yeah.
note this down.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we can go there. There were related questions so let us know whether these exams are recognized by the MOE in the UAE and in India and in any other countries.
That's a
Would
nice
that-
question, and I'd like to take that. Yeah, so the top universities in the world, you saw the names of the universities that I shared are recognizing these. If you go to the Johns Hopkins website, you'll actually see that asset test is named, and then children who qualify in the ATS, which is this test, automatically get admission to the gifted programs. Now, with the ministries and the KHDA, these are processes that, as you know, ASSET is a partner of KHDA, and we've been talking to all the agencies, not just about ASSET but the gifted program. These ministries, whether in the UAE or India or other countries, do not specifically give a list of tests that they that they kind of approve or something like that. But these tests have been taken for a number of years, and a number of students from the UAE have attended these workshops, both in India and the US. So it is something that is now happening at the level of only the gifted children and the parents. So it's not even open to all the children. It's only open to gifted children. So I think that is the way that the ministry looks at it. There is some conversation now about gifted programs being available in many of the UAE countries. But that's something that is still going to start. They have their own programs and initiatives, but these tests have been done for a number of years and recognized by universities across the world. That's what I would say there.
Yeah, and I would just want to add one line about how the UAE educational authorities across, whether it's KHTA or ADEC or SPIA, they're all focused very much on how schools help encourage students who are gifted. What is it that schools are doing? So this is one of the options for schools to encourage their children to take these assessments, something like Asset Talent Search, that helps them identify who are the gifted students in there. So there is a lot of focus over the last couple of years. It has actually become even more.
I
Yes.
thought maybe we should actually just play something that we had from a student based on the question of, some of these questions come. So it may be useful to actually hear what some students have felt. So I'll play a part of this video, and maybe not the whole video if we are a little short of time, but I'll
I have been taking the ASSET test since grade 4. You should take this test because you can find out so much about yourself. I learned to be careful in each question and just to look at it thoroughly. Through ATS, I have been looking things more closely, like observationally, and I could improve in lots of fields. Just through ATS, the amount of opportunities I could get, like the Johns Hopkins University, I was like really amazed because I heard that university a lot. The first day onwards, everyone knows everyone, it's so energetic. And the teachers, they are amazing. They teach you about interesting topics that you normally don't ever learn in class. I used to be very shy. Being in GIIS, being part of your friends as a whole, as a family, it made me come out more often. So the thing I like most about GIIS is on the last day, everybody does not want to go home.
So, Savitri, I'm going to just go through some of the other points of the test quickly, but please feel free to interrupt me if you think there's an important question that needs to be answered. But I'm just going to give the basic information once again about the tests. It's a higher level test that is taken on the computer. It can be taken from anywhere. It tests for critical thinking and understanding. It's a no preparation test with no negative marking, and you have a choice of the subjects that you can register for. This gives you the dates. Sorry, I'm going to just switch to these. The prices given are correct here, but the dates, we'll just show you the correct dates briefly and put it in the chat because these dates have changed a little bit. The registration fees range from 170 to 250 dirhams. What we have also done to support the schools in this is provide a list of the qualifiers, with the schools. And also schools are able to track the list of students. So in case as parents you have any questions, this information is available with schools also in terms of the students who have registered. So this is just for information and to be able to easily know and to get support. You can also write to the email addresses that we will be sharing at the end of this presentation. Also the partnerships in terms of the international partners. So what happens after this test is that students who qualify in the top 15% can attend gifted programs in these various workshops. And these are top universities in the world that offer these programs, which is Johns Hopkins, Northwestern, SIG, Purdue, and the University of California at Berkeley. So students can either attend programs here because these are and you can go to their websites to get more details about the programs that they offer, or you can write to us or to Sage to get more information about these programs. So just to clarify that while we have been saying that the children must be in the top 15% in asset, any test in which they are in the top 15% qualifies them to write the ATS. So even students who are in the Stanine 9, which means again the top Stanine of the CAT 4, for example. So any method by which you are able to show that the child is in the top 15% qualifies children to write the ATS test. This is a list of the courses, the type of courses that happen when students take the test, right? So you can see here there are courses on, and these change every year. So over the last few years, these are some of the courses on ChatGPT and generative AI or special relativity, becoming a reader, becoming a writer. So what we try to do when we do these courses is a combination of language as well as maths and science and STEM kind of subjects. And almost all these courses have an important component of hands-on. That means they have to actually make something, do something in the course. The other important thing is that it's not all serious work and study only. So every day in these programs, the first half is academics, where they are working with the other children. But the second half of the day is various kinds of fun activities, games, talent shows, which is also in a structured form. So children, in our experience, find they benefit as much from that, and they just kind of learn to get along with each other and work with each other, play with each other, as they do in the academic part of the course. They end up challenging each other because they are very, very bright, though their specific areas of interest and challenge may be slightly different. Here is a short video.
ATS results, I vividly remember my grandmother being there, and she was very supportive of it. Although I hadn't thought about the results too much before that because I didn't want to be disappointed when I got them, I realized that they were actually quite good because I got Gold Scholar, and I was very proud of myself, especially because my parents and my entire family was very supportive of me. Seeing the opportunities it brought, I was very excited as well.
Teacher Prabhu sir, he's absolutely amazing because he treats physics like it's something fun to enjoy and like a game. So every day when we come to class, we play with physics, we learn how to do experiments, learn about theories, and then we go back knowing a lot more and even knowing how to do a lot more in terms of experiment and how to test theories and things like that.
He gets a chance to interact with people of his own mind length, wavelength जो बोलते हैं ना कोई. When you go to a normal class in school, सारे बच्चे सब तरह के बच्चे आते हैं. कुछ स्पोर्ट्स में अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ एकेडमिक्स में अच्छे होते हैं. और स्कूल जब उसे टीच करती है तो जस्ट दे हैव टू बी नॉर्मल जनरल लेवल पे बात कर सकते हैं, वो बहुत हाई लेवल भी बात नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन यहाँ पे दे कैन गो बियॉन्ड द कोर्स।
So I'm just going to move ahead in the interest of time, but we will be sharing this link and you can see the video. So sorry, here are the correct dates and the details. So just to kind of run through this again, it's an online proctored test, which means that children can take the test from their homes. They don't have to prepare. It's a no preparation test with multiple choice questions, very similar to the ACID test that they've already taken. There is no negative marking, and it's a 2 grades higher level test. The test is available in 3 subjects, and these are the correct dates. March 16th for the early bird, which we strongly recommend that you close by because there are certain advantages. But there is a regular registration by March 23rd and a late registration, and the test dates are 25th to 29th. We've actually given an extended period this time because of the we don't know exactly the date for Eid, but this is a large window of 5 days. And I saw a question earlier where a parent had asked that, we are traveling to India on March 27th or something like that. So there are 2 points. One is that you can do the test from anywhere. So it's not that you have to be in a particular place. You can do it from home. You can do it if you're traveling as long as the child is able to take the test. And you have a 5-day window in which these 3 papers have to be taken. So if somebody is traveling on 27th, they could either complete the 3 tests before the 27th, or they could do tests on 25th, 26th, and then the 3rd test on 28th. So you have a lot of flexibility because the test is online proctored with both AI and human proctoring. So they can take the test from the comfort of the home. And this is the data on the fees. The advantage of the early registration is 2 things. One, that you have a lower fee, and 2, that you can register for 1, 2, or 3 subjects, because we plan for that accordingly. We recommend that children actually take all 3 subjects because children often have that giftedness in you qualify based on your performance in any one subject. But if you want to, you can register only in 1 or 2 subjects. But for that, you have to register before March 16th, which is the early registration date. With this, I'm just going to show you 2 or 3 slides which have comments that past students have given, and then we will just close and take the remaining questions because we have about 10 minutes right now. So this is Shivani from Sharjah, who said that the thought-provoking questions tested my knowledge and helped me evolve through the exams. Vedika also from Sharjah, has talked about the global benchmark, that this helps students understand where they stand among their peers. One of the comments I want to make here is that the most important thing that we can do for any child, and especially for gifted children, is to provide them exposure beyond what they are normally getting. So 2 kinds of exposure this provides. One is this kind of a benchmark where they are now being pitted and challenged against the best and the brightest in various subjects. And second, if they qualify and do the workshop, that is an intensive 3-week experience of living and interacting with these kids. And that's why it turns out to be a life-changing opportunity for many of these kids. And this is Tejash from Dubai, where he says that, he is an ATS topper. And he says he was actually surprised, but he was very happy to get this award. And he feels that he had, worked hard. So he kind of qualified the test and then also did the summer program. So this, I thought, is an important slide for you to know that, how does a parent look at it? This is comments from a group of parents when we ask them, this is after the children have attended the gifted workshop of 3 weeks. And they said that apart from the technical quality and learning, the gifted program has enabled something very valuable. Specifically, it's the only place I know where a good kid chooses the course themselves, right? So they get a choice of courses before the program if they qualify, and they have to choose one. They go to a new place where they don't know, they may know 1 or 2 students if they're from their school, but they are coming from all over the place. So limited prior friendships, they don't know someone before, no friends, no enemies, and they kind of start off. But like it was shared earlier, they kind of connect very, very quickly. Restricted device environment. So no mobiles most of the day. They get half an hour in the evening when they can connect with parents. And These are children who've kind of grown up with mobiles, but they really enjoy this environment where they are kind of working and playing with other kids. No exams. These are not courses where they take a test at the end, they get a grade. No, it's all focused on learning, doing, working with others. Going deep. You saw this partly from the topics that I shared, whether it's generative AI or neuroscience or understanding engineering from cycles or world, what are the world politics. So they go deep into a topic which itself is a high level topic, and they do it for 3 weeks with a very qualified expert who's working with them, learning from passionate experts who is not doing this for any reason apart from the fact that they also enjoy working with kids like this. And there's a chance for the children to kind of learn and flower on their own, and to kind of being in an environment which is outside home, which is a learning in itself. So yeah, with this, just wanted to say that this is something that we have been doing for 14 years with very large number of alumni and courses. So want to invite all of you once again. And with this, I'm going to, this is email addresses that you could write to us or to ATS on. But with this, I'm going to just stop so we can spend 5-7 minutes answering more questions, because I'm seeing that a lot of them are there. Back to you, Savitri.
Yeah.
And
Going
in
over
case
a lot of questions.
Jyoti ma'am and Shastri ma'am have any comments, welcome to them also to share. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. I am sure that this must be really insightful for the parents as well as for us. Again, I'll not take much of your time because I see so many questions which really make a lot of sense to me. So it will be great if we can just address them. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I've been looking through the questions. Some of them, I think, have been answered just now on what kinds of gifted programs are available for children who qualify after taking the ATS exams. If there are any specific questions again on that, please put in your questions, parents. There are still questions on whether one subject or 2 subjects or 3 subjects can be taken. I think our team has actually put out that response on the chat. Please check the information in the chat.
I see one question. What will be the fee for summer programs?
For the summer programs, yes.
That's a good question.
Because actually last year, 2 of our students, they got selected for it. Unfortunately, they did not go for it, but it will be great if we can brief about it.
Yes. So we are not able to give you one fee because the fees vary based on the universities that students choose and go to. So like we said, there are 6 partner universities and there are programs in both the US and in India. So in fact, we are trying to see whether we are able to do programs in the UAE. There's still some discussions going on. But this is a program that includes the cost. It's a 3-week residential program, so the fees vary. The fees would and you can get these details from the websites of these colleges, and you can also write to us. But it varies a lot depending on the specific course and the specific programs. So if there are any, if you go through those list of courses and you look at particular universities or the particular courses, we could give you the details of those.
All right. So I think the next question, yes, ma'am, we will get certificate or medal for attending these tests. Yes, certificate is there. Yeah.
Yes, you get certificates for sure. All participants will get a certificate.
Yeah.
Medals and trophies and awards. I mean, prizes will be there for the toppers. We've put that out.
I'll quickly read the questions for you. So
yeah.
Yes,
nobody feels that the question is not addressed. Does this add to the profile when applying for universities in USA and UK?
Oh, absolutely. Like I told you, there are some universities that already mention this in their website. If you go to the Johns Hopkins is the world's #1 university in terms of gifted students, and it's #1 in many other areas, whether it's biology, medicine, and many, it's among the top universities. So Johns Hopkins actually mentions both asset and the asset talent search. See, what we have to understand is these students are qualifying in the top 10%, 15% at this stage and the top 2%. So any university will be, I mean, how do I put it? The university will be competing to get students who qualify for this. So the students will actually have a choice. But yes, this has been recognized by all, even a university that does not know of it. When you show them that you are in the top 2%, trust me, they will want to get these students because they are extremely bright students. So yes, it is recognized by many of the top universities and valued by all of them.
Okay, so where do we get the study material from?
So we know that people like to have study materials, but unfortunately, this is a no preparation test, and we really want the children not to prepare for this specially. So the only thing I can tell you is past asset question papers. You might be able to get them in the school. You can get some from our website, but we are not expecting children to study specifically for this, and children have not studied specifically for this for the last 14 years that we have been doing this. So they do not have to do it. Please don't worry on that.
Okay, but you have mentioned that this exam is 2 grade level higher. Like somebody is appearing for grade 5, probably grade 6, 7, at least the questions may touch that level, right?
Yes, correct. The questions are going to be 2 grade levels higher, right? So if you're in class 7, you will get a grade 9 test. If you're in class 8, you'll get a class 10 test. But 2 points. One is, remember that this is true for all the children, right? So all the children are going to get this. And secondly, in spite of that, there is no preparation required because it is possible that class 7 children will not know some class 9 topics. And I don't think they can, prepare for it in 3 weeks or 1 month or something like that. So this will be basically based on the ability of the children themselves.
Okay, so what will be the fee if we opt only for one subject? It is already discussed, 170. And then, of course, they can choose 1, 2, or complete all the subjects. Do we need to pay the summer workshop, or is it included EI Asset Talent Search into? No, we have to pay.
It has to be.
That
yeah,
is
that's
a separate fee.
Yeah, separate thing. It depends on whether you've qualified and then we go forward.
Yeah. How many
we will
questions
have
for each
session.
exam?
So sorry. So there was a slide where I showed the number of questions also. The number of questions varies depending on the test from roughly about 40 to 60. The English papers have more questions, but the maths papers have about 40 questions. So it's about 40 to 60 questions in a particular test.
Okay.
Parents, we will need to close the webinar here because we have another webinar starting right now. Thank you so much for your time and your attention.
I'm so sorry, I'm cutting you, Savitri, in between. That there are a few questions which are not addressed. So I request somebody to make a note of it.
Yes,
so that
we
we
will do
can
that.
share as FAQs to our parents because, Ramadan
Yes,
is
absolutely.
going
I was
on.
coming
It is
to that.
weekend.
I was
They have
coming to
taken
that.
out time. Yeah.
All of the remaining questions, all of the unaddressed questions, we will share a detailed information note to you, Jyoti, and to your colleague Shavista, and you can share that with parents. Thank you so much once again, and have a great weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much,
Thank you, everyone.
Savitri
Thank
and
you,
Peter.
especially
Thank you so much.
Jyoti ma'am and Shavista ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, parents.